reclaiming historical truths, the true origins and colonial exploitation of Jamaica. The history of Jamaica is often told through a lens shaped by colonial powers, leaving many truths obscured or forgotten. Understanding the true origins of Jamaicans and the impact of colonial exploitation is essential to reclaiming the island's identity and heritage. Let's be bold enough to delve into the untold stories of the Gya Myakans, the Maroons, and the lasting effects of colonialism, shedding light on the resilience and strength of the Jamaican people. People, the phrase is G-Y-A, Gia, Myaka, and it is referring to a people being stranded, exiled, marooned in a place where they cannot get back home. Gya Myaka, not no doggone Xaymaica, referring to a land of wood and water. Moreover, it is an African phrase and not no doggone Arawak language. This is Columbus' own rhetoric, a spin based on land pirating strategies. He made it up for that reason. Land piracy. He did not want to include the existence of the indigenous people in his report to Isabella. Okay? Hello, people. It's Skywalker again, and I am troubling the waters today. I am troubling the waters today because the coffee said to do it. All right? The conventional narrative of Jamaican history often begins with the arrival of Columbus and the subsequent kidnapping of people from Africa to be enslaved and colonized by European powers. This is not even a half truth. It's mostly corrupted with lies anyway. What would the colonizers' descendant, Mark Goulding, do? He would be the author of the book of Heli as usual, telling lies, right? And where do you think he got it all from? Huh? The true story of the Jamaican people predates these events by centuries. Okay? That coming of Columbus, our true story predates it by centuries. The Gya Myakans, a group from the western region of Africa, made their way to Jamaica long before Columbus' arrival. They arrived on ships that were lost at sea off the western coast of Africa and found themselves exiled on the island, becoming the indigenous people of Jamaica. The word Jamaica, well, it's actually a phrase, simply means the marooned people, not no doggone land of wood and water. So the word maroon was not a coincidence. The name Jamaica meant maroon. When Columbus arrived on what we now call Jamaica, he was brought by Moorish and African navigators who knew the seas and were familiar with the Caribbean. These navigators played a crucial role in his journey across the Atlantic. Upon arrival, Columbus encountered the Myakans, a people who were already established and thriving. The term Jamaica itself is believed to derive from Jamaica, meaning marooned or exiled, reflecting the history of these early settlers who found themselves in a new land far from home. Okay? The Spanish and later English colonizers sought to erase the presence of these indigenous Africans by framing the narrative in a way that suited their colonial ambitions. They wanted to be the rightful heir of the land. They claimed that all black people on the island were brought as slaves, thereby denying the existence of the Gya Myakans as the original inhabitants. This distortion of history allowed the colonizers to present themselves as the rightful heirs to the land, ignoring the complex and rich history of the people they sought to dominate. The Maroons, descendants of the Gya Myakans, became known for their fierce resistance to colonial rules. They established autonomous communities in the rugged interior of the land, successfully defending their freedom against repeated attempts by European powers to subjugate them. The Maroons' resilience and determination to preserve their way of life are a testament to the strength and spirit of the Jamaican people. Because the Spanish could not defeat and colonize them, they went to Africa to kidnap others and then used this fact to confuse Spain into believing that all the inhabitants came to Jamaica as slaves on their vessels. Although we were all West Africans, the people that were brought here afterwards were referred to as Africans, and the indigenous as the Gya Myakans are Maroons, and that naturally you could understand why. The arrival of European colonizers marked the beginning of a dark period of exploitation and oppression for the people of Jamaica. The Spanish were the first to bring enslaved Africans to the island, and this practice was later continued and expanded by the English. The colonizers sought to erase the indigenous Gya Myakans and the Taino people from history, framing the narrative to suggest that all black inhabitants were brought as slaves. Under colonial rule, the Jamaican people were subjected to deplorable conditions. Enslaved Africans were forced to work on plantations under brutal conditions, stripped of their freedom and humanity. The colonizers claimed ownership over their lives, bodies, and labor, justifying their actions through a distorted sense of entitlement. The Maroons, descendants of the Jamaicans, fiercely resisted colonial rule. They established autonomous communities in the rugged interior of the land, successfully defending their freedom against repeated attempts by European powers to subjugate them. The Maroons' resilience and determination to preserve their way of life are a testament to the strength and spirit of the Jamaican people. It is. Even after the abolition of slavery, the legacy of colonial exploitation continued. The newly emancipated population faced systemic discrimination and economic hardship. The colonizers implemented policies and practices designed to maintain control and dominance over the island and its people. Education systems, for example, were structured to support neocolonial ideologies, perpetuating a cycle of dependence and subjugation. The introduction of economic policies like the Monroe Doctrine, Platt Amendment, and the involvement of institutions like the IMF further entrenched neocolonial influence. These policies often resulted in economic dependence and debt, undermining true independence and self sufficiency. The United States and England used their economic power to manipulate and control, ensuring that Jamaica remained within their sphere of influence. Despite these challenges, the Jamaican people have continuously fought for their rights and sovereignty. The struggle against colonial exploitation and neo-colonial sabotage has shaped the island's history and identity, highlighting the resilience and strength of its people. As Jamaica moved towards independence, the scars of colonial exploitation remained deeply embedded in the society. The promise of independence in Haiti in 1962 brought hope, but the reality was that true freedom and autonomy were far from fully realized. The legacy of colonial rule continued to influence the political, economic, and social landscape of the island. The newly independent nation faced significant challenges. The economic structure was still heavily dependent on the former colonial powers, and systemic inequalities persisted. The United States and England, wielding significant economic and political influences, continued to manipulate Jamaica's development to maintain their interest here. Policies like the Monroe Doctrines and the Platt Amendment underscored the determination of these powers to dominate the Americas, ensuring that no former colony would achieve true economic freedom. One of the most insidious tools of neocolonial control was economic manipulation through institutions like the IMF. The IMF's involvement often came with stringent conditions that prioritized repaying of debts over social and economic development. This resulted in austerity measures that deepened poverty and stunted growth, trapping Jamaica in a cycle of dependency. The education system, too, was designed to perpetuate neocolonial ideologies. Curricula often emphasized Western perspectives and values, marginalizing indigenous knowledge and culture. This created a mindset that favored neocolonial structures, making it difficult to break free from the influence of former colonial powers. Despite these obstacles, the Jamaican people had shown remarkable resilience and determination. Movements for social justice, economic equity, and cultural renaissance have emerged, challenging the remnants of colonial control and striving for true independence. The struggle against neocolonial sabotage, like Mark Golding's sabotage against the Republican movement, has shaped Jamaica's national identity, highlighting the strength and spirit of its people. We will overcome the sabotage of Mark Golding. The journey towards genuine independence is going with each generation, building on the legacy of resistance and resilience. So it keeps going on and on and on and getting bigger and bigger. Understanding the historical context of colonial exploitation and neocolonial sabotage is crucial in reclaiming Jamaica's true identity, and it is what is driving us forward. And we are forging a path towards a future defined by self determination and empowerment. Reclaiming the true historical narrative of Jamaica is essential for understanding the island's identity and the resilience of its people. The story of the Gya Myakans and the Maroons challenges the conventional colonial narrative, highlighting the strength and perseverance of the original inhabitants of Jamaica. By recognizing the true origins of the Jamaican people and the enduring impact of colonial exploitation, we can honor their legacy and resilience, and we will know why we must never use the term crown land around here. Colonialism left deep scars on Jamaica, but the fight for independence and the ongoing struggle against neocolonial practices have shaped the nation's identity. Understanding the historical context of these challenges is crucial in forging a path towards true self determination and empowerment. The Jamaican people have shown remarkable strength and determination in the face of adversity, continuously striving for justice, equity, and cultural renaissance. By reclaiming their history and asserting their identity, they are building a future defined by their own terms, free from the shadows of colonial and neo-colonial influence. As we reflect on Jamaica's past, it is vital to acknowledge the resilience and spirit of its people. Their stories of resistance and perseverance serve as a testament to their enduring strength and provide inspiration for future generations of us. Reclaiming historical truth is not just an act of remembrance, but a powerful step towards building a more just and equitable future. Think on these things, my people. Peace out.